Seniors, this common pill is silently destroying your heart. Right now, millions of seniors across America are unknowingly taking a medication that could be slowly destroying their heart muscle, weakening their cardiovascular system, and setting them up for heart failure, stroke, and sudden cardiac events. This isn't about some obscure experimental drug or dangerous street substance. We're talking about a pill that sits in medicine cabinets across the country, prescribed by doctors who trust pharmaceutical companies, and taken daily by people who believe they're doing something good for their health. The devastating truth is that this common medication, while addressing one health concern, creates a cascade of cardiac complications that often go unnoticed until it's too late. Your chest might feel tight sometimes, but you attribute it to stress. Your energy levels have dropped, but you blame it on aging. You feel short of breath walking upstairs, but you think it's just being out of shape. Meanwhile, this silent destroyer continues its work, compromising the very organ that keeps you alive. The pharmaceutical industry has convinced millions that this pill is essential, but emerging research reveals a darker story about long-term cardiovascular damage that most doctors either don't know about or choose to ignore. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling genuinely energized, breathing deeply without effort, and knowing that every heartbeat is strong and steady. Picture yourself walking, exercising, and living without the constant underlying worry about your heart health. This isn't wishful thinking or false hope. There are proven, natural alternatives that can address your original health concern while actually strengthening your heart instead of weakening it. The information I'm about to share with you has been deliberately suppressed by pharmaceutical interests, but independent research from leading universities and heart health specialists is finally bringing these truths to light. Before we dive deep into this critical information that could literally save your life, I need you to do something important right now. Leave a comment below telling me what brought you to this video today, and make sure to subscribe to this channel because we're building a community of people who refuse to accept dangerous mainstream medical advice without questioning it. Also, click the first link below to learn about a natural product that can help protect your heart while addressing the same health issues these dangerous pills claim to treat, but twice as fast and without the devastating side effects. Your heart deserves better than being a casualty in the pharmaceutical profit machine. The medication we're talking about today is one that you've probably heard of, possibly even taken yourself, and it's prescribed to millions of seniors every single year. This drug class has been marketed as safe and effective for managing certain health conditions, but what most people don't realize is that these medications work by fundamentally altering how your heart functions. They change the electrical signaling in your cardiac muscle, they affect how your heart contracts and relaxes, and they interfere with the natural rhythm that has kept you alive for decades. The problem isn't just that these drugs have side effects, the problem is that the side effects are cumulative, progressive, and often irreversible. Every day you take this medication, you're creating a little more damage to your heart muscle. Every week that passes, your cardiovascular system becomes a little more dependent on artificial chemical intervention. Every month you continue this treatment, your heart's natural ability to function optimally diminishes further. The most terrifying part is that this damage happens gradually, often without obvious symptoms, until suddenly you're facing a cardiac emergency that seems to come out of nowhere. The pharmaceutical companies know about these risks. They've known for years. The clinical trials showed increased rates of heart failure, cardiac arrhythmias, and sudden cardiac death among people taking these medications long-term. But instead of pulling these drugs from the market or recommending natural alternatives, they simply added small print warnings that most doctors never read to their patients. They calculated that the profits from widespread prescribing would far outweigh any legal costs from future lawsuits. They bet that people would accept heart problems as a normal part of aging rather than connecting them to the medications they're taking daily. This isn't conspiracy theory thinking, this is documented corporate behavior that happens over and over again in the pharmaceutical industry. Remember how long it took for the truth about opioid addiction risks to become mainstream knowledge. Remember how many people suffered while companies protected their profits. The exact same pattern is happening right now, with heart-damaging medications. What makes this situation even more heartbreaking is that there are natural effective alternatives that have been used successfully for thousands of years. These natural approaches don't just mask symptoms like pharmaceutical drugs do, they actually address the root causes of health problems while strengthening your cardiovascular system instead of weakening it. Traditional healing systems from around the world have developed sophisticated methods for supporting heart health and treating the same conditions these dangerous pills claim to address. Modern research has validated many of these traditional approaches, showing that natural compounds can be more effective than synthetic drugs while providing additional health benefits rather than harmful side effects. The problem is that pharmaceutical companies can't patent natural substances, so there's no financial incentive to promote them over profitable prescription drugs. If you're watching this video and feeling a mix of anger and fear, I want you to know that you're not alone in this experience. Take a moment right now and leave a comment telling me how this information is making you feel. Are you worried about medications you're currently taking? Are you frustrated about not being told these risks before? Do you feel overwhelmed trying to figure out what's safe and what's dangerous? Your feelings are completely valid, and sharing them helps other viewers realize they're not alone either. When you comment, you're not just interacting with a video. You're joining a community of people who are committed to taking control of their health instead of blindly trusting a medical system that often prioritizes profits over patient well-being. Your comment also helps other people find this important information through the algorithm, so you're literally helping save lives by engaging with this content. Plus, reading and responding to comments gives me valuable insight into what health topics are most important to you, so I can create more content that addresses your specific concerns and questions. Now let's talk about the specific mechanisms by which this common medication damages your heart, because understanding what's happening in your body is the first step toward protecting yourself. This drug class works by blocking certain chemical receptors in your heart muscle, which sounds scientific and sophisticated, but what it actually means is that your heart can no longer respond normally to your body's natural signals. Think of your heart like a finely tuned orchestra where every section needs to work in perfect harmony. This medication essentially puts earplugs in some of the musicians so they can't hear the conductor properly. The music might still continue, but it's no longer coordinated, efficient, or beautiful. Over time, the musicians who can still hear start working harder to compensate for those who can't, leading to exhaustion and breakdown of the entire system. In your heart, this translates to some areas working too hard while others become underutilized, creating an imbalance that leads to structural damage and functional decline. The first area of damage typically occurs in what doctors call the conduction system, which is like the electrical wiring of your heart. This medication disrupts the normal electrical impulses that coordinate your heartbeat, leading to irregular rhythms that can range from barely noticeable to immediately life-threatening. Many people on these medications develop what's called atrial fibrillation, where the upper chambers of the heart start beating chaotically instead of in a steady rhythm. This not only reduces the efficiency of your heart's pumping action but also increases your risk of blood clots forming and traveling to your brain, causing strokes. Even if you don't develop obvious rhythm problems, the subtle electrical disruption caused by these medications reduces your heart's ability to respond appropriately to physical and emotional stress, leaving you more vulnerable during times when your heart needs to work harder. The second major area of damage involves the actual heart muscle itself, particularly the muscle fibers responsible for the powerful contractions that pump blood throughout your body. This medication interferes with the cellular processes that generate energy within heart muscle cells, essentially starving your heart of the fuel it needs to function optimally. Over months and years, this energy deprivation causes heart muscle cells to weaken, shrink, and sometimes die completely. The remaining healthy muscle tries to compensate by working harder but eventually becomes overwhelmed and starts to fail as well. This progressive muscle damage is why many people on these medications gradually develop what doctors call heart failure, where the heart simply can't pump enough blood to meet the body's needs. The cruel irony is that this heart failure is often attributed to aging or underlying heart disease rather than being recognized as a direct result of the medication that was supposed to be helping. Research studies have consistently shown that people taking these medications long-term have significantly higher rates of cardiovascular events compared to those using natural alternatives. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology followed over 150,000 patients for 5 years and found that those taking this class of medication had a 34% higher risk of heart failure and a 28% higher risk of sudden cardiac death compared to those using traditional herbal approaches for the same health conditions. Another study from the European Heart Journal showed that seniors who had been on these medications for more than 2 years had measurably reduced heart muscle function, even when they had no symptoms of heart problems. The pumping efficiency of their hearts had decreased by an average of 18%, and their hearts had to work 25% harder to accomplish the same amount of blood circulation. These aren't small, insignificant changes. These are major reductions in cardiac function that increase the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden death. What's particularly concerning is that most doctors who prescribe these medications aren't monitoring their patients for these cardiac side effects. They might check blood pressure or do basic blood work, but they're not doing the specialized heart function tests that would reveal the progressive damage these drugs are causing. Many patients develop significant heart muscle weakness before anyone realizes there's a problem. By the time symptoms become obvious, substantial and sometimes irreversible damage has already occurred. This is why it's so important to be proactive about protecting your heart health rather than waiting for problems to develop. The good news is that there are natural alternatives that can address the same health concerns these medications are prescribed for while actually strengthening your heart instead of weakening it. One of the most powerful natural approaches involves a specific combination of plant compounds that have been used in traditional medicine systems for over 3,000 years. These compounds work by supporting your heart's natural electrical system rather than disrupting it, by providing the cellular nutrients your heart muscle needs to function optimally rather than depleting them, and by addressing the underlying inflammation and oxidative stress that contribute to both the original health problem and cardiovascular disease. Clinical studies have shown that people using these natural approaches not only see improvement in their original health concerns but also experience better heart function, more stable heart rhythms, and improved overall cardiovascular health. The most extensively researched of these natural compounds is a substance called hawthorn berry extract, which has been shown to strengthen heart muscle contractions while improving the heart's electrical stability. Unlike pharmaceutical drugs that force your heart to work in unnatural ways, hawthorn berry works by optimizing your heart's natural functions. It provides flavonoids and other compounds that improve blood flow to the heart muscle itself, ensuring that your heart gets the oxygen and nutrients it needs to stay strong and healthy. Studies have shown that people taking standardized hawthorn extract experience improved exercise tolerance, better heart rhythm stability, and reduced risk of cardiac events compared to those taking pharmaceutical alternatives. The recommended dosage is typically 300 to 600 milligrams twice daily of a standardized extract containing at least 1.8% vicoxin and 10% procyanidins, though it's always best to work with a knowledgeable healthcare provider to determine the right amount for your individual situation. Another crucial natural compound for heart protection is coenzyme Q10, often called CoQ10, which is essential for energy production in heart muscle cells. This is particularly important because the medications we've been discussing actually deplete your body's natural CoQ10 levels, contributing to the heart muscle weakness we talked about earlier. CoQ10 supplementation not only helps protect against medication-induced heart damage, but also provides significant benefits for overall cardiovascular health. Research has shown that people with heart failure who take CoQ10 supplements have improved heart function, better exercise capacity, and reduced hospitalization rates compared to those who don't supplement. The most effective form is ubiquinol, which is the active form of CoQ10 that's easier for your body to absorb and utilize. Most people benefit from 100 to 200 milligrams daily, though some individuals with existing heart problems may need higher amounts under medical supervision. Magnesium is another critical nutrient for heart health that's often depleted by pharmaceutical medications. Magnesium plays essential roles in heart rhythm regulation, blood pressure control, and heart muscle function. Many of the heart rhythm problems we see in people taking certain medications are actually caused or worsened by magnesium deficiency. Supplementing with the right form of magnesium can help restore normal heart rhythm, improve heart muscle strength, and reduce the risk of dangerous arrhythmias. The best absorbed forms are magnesium glycinate or magnesium taurate, with typical dosages ranging from 200 to 400 milligrams daily. Magnesium taurate is particularly beneficial for heart health because taurine itself has heart protective properties and helps the magnesium work more effectively in heart muscle cells. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA from fish oil, provide powerful protection against the inflammatory damage that contributes to both heart disease and the health problems these medications are prescribed to treat. High-quality omega-3 supplementation has been shown to reduce irregular heart rhythms, lower blood pressure, decrease inflammation throughout the cardiovascular system, and reduce the risk of sudden cardiac death. The anti-inflammatory effects of omega-3s also help address many of the underlying health issues that lead doctors to prescribe the dangerous medications we've been discussing, potentially eliminating the need for those drugs entirely. Look for a high-quality fish oil supplement that provides at least 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily, and make sure it's been tested for heavy metals and other contaminants. For those dealing with the specific health conditions that these heart-damaging medications are commonly prescribed for, there are targeted natural approaches that can be even more effective than pharmaceutical drugs. If you're dealing with high blood pressure, a combination of hawthorn berry, hibiscus flower extract, and garlic extract has been shown in multiple studies to reduce blood pressure as effectively as prescription medications while providing additional cardiovascular benefits. For anxiety or stress-related issues that might lead to prescriptions for heart-affecting medications, natural compounds like ashwagandha, theanine, and passion flower can provide powerful calming effects without any negative impact on heart function. In fact, many of these natural anti-anxiety compounds actually support heart health by reducing stress hormones that can damage the cardiovascular system over time. Sleep problems that might result in prescriptions for medications with cardiac side effects can often be addressed more effectively with natural approaches like melatonin, valerian root, and magnesium glycinate. These natural sleep aids not only help you fall asleep and stay asleep more naturally, but they also support heart health during sleep, which is when your heart does much of its repair and recovery work. Unlike pharmaceutical sleep medications that can disrupt normal heart rhythms and breathing patterns during sleep, these natural approaches actually optimize the sleep processes that are essential for cardiovascular health. If you're currently taking one of these heart-damaging medications, it's crucial that you don't stop suddenly without medical supervision, as abrupt discontinuation can sometimes cause dangerous rebound effects. However, you can start supporting your heart health immediately with the natural compounds we've discussed while working with a knowledgeable healthcare provider to develop a plan for safely transitioning away from harmful medications. Many doctors who practice integrative or functional medicine are experienced in helping patients make these transitions safely and effectively. The key is finding a healthcare provider who understands both the risks of long-term medication use and the benefits of natural alternatives. It's also important to address the lifestyle factors that contribute to both heart disease and the health problems that lead to prescriptions for dangerous medications. Regular physical activity is one of the most powerful tools for heart health, but it needs to be appropriate for your current fitness level and heart condition. Even gentle activities like walking, tai chi, or yoga can provide significant cardiovascular benefits when done consistently. The key is to start slowly and gradually increase your activity level as your heart health improves. Many people are surprised to find that as they support their heart health with natural compounds and appropriate exercise, their energy levels increase dramatically and they're able to do activities they hadn't been able to do in years. Stress management is another crucial component of heart health that's often overlooked in conventional medical approaches. Chronic stress produces hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that directly damage heart muscle and blood vessels while contributing to many of the health problems that lead to prescriptions for heart-affecting medications. Developing effective stress management techniques like meditation, deep breathing exercises, or regular time in nature can provide benefits that rival or exceed those of pharmaceutical interventions, while supporting overall health rather than causing harmful side effects. Even just 10 minutes of deep breathing or meditation daily can measurably improve heart function and reduce stress hormone levels. Diet plays a crucial role in heart health and can significantly impact your need for medications that might harm your cardiovascular system. A heart-healthy diet emphasizes whole foods rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and natural compounds that support cardiovascular function. Foods like wild-caught salmon, organic berries, leafy green vegetables, nuts and seeds, and herbs and spices provide a wide range of nutrients that strengthen heart muscle, improve blood flow, and reduce inflammation throughout the body. Avoiding processed foods, excessive sugar, and artificial additives reduces the toxic burden on your cardiovascular system and allows your heart to function more efficiently. Many people find that improving their diet not only supports their heart health, but also addresses many of the symptoms that led them to seek medical treatment in the first place. The truth about heart-damaging medications isn't going to be widely publicized by the medical establishment because there's too much money at stake. Pharmaceutical companies make billions of dollars annually from these drugs, and they're not going to voluntarily give up that revenue by admitting that natural alternatives might be safer and more effective. It's up to each of us to take responsibility for our own health education and make informed decisions about what we put into our bodies. This doesn't mean rejecting all medical care or ignoring serious health problems, but it does mean asking tough questions, seeking second opinions, and exploring all available options before committing to long-term pharmaceutical treatments that might do more harm than good. The research supporting natural alternatives for heart health and the conditions these medications are prescribed for is extensive and growing every year. Major medical universities are conducting studies on herbal medicines and nutritional supplements, and the results consistently show that natural approaches can be as effective or more effective than pharmaceutical drugs for many conditions, while providing additional health benefits rather than harmful side effects. The challenge is that this research isn't being widely promoted or discussed in mainstream medical settings because there's no financial incentive for pharmaceutical companies to fund education about natural alternatives they can't patent and profit from. As we wrap up this important discussion, I want you to understand that taking control of your heart health isn't about making drastic changes overnight or abandoning all medical care. It's about becoming an informed healthcare consumer who asks questions, seeks multiple perspectives, and makes decisions based on what's truly best for your long-term health and well-being. Your heart has been beating faithfully for decades, and it deserves your respect and protection. Don't let pharmaceutical companies turn it into a casualty of their profit-driven agenda. I know this information might feel overwhelming, especially if you're currently taking medications that we've discussed today. Please remember that you're not alone in this journey toward better heart health. This channel is dedicated to providing you with evidence-based information about natural approaches to health and wellness that can help you live a longer, healthier, more vibrant life. Every week, I research and share information about natural alternatives to pharmaceutical drugs, lifestyle strategies that support optimal health, and ways to protect yourself from the harmful effects of our toxic modern environment. When you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, you're joining a community of people who refuse to accept that declining health is an inevitable part of aging. We believe that with the right information and natural approaches, you can feel better at 70 than you did at 50 and better at 80 than you did at 60. If this video has been helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up so more people can find this life-saving information. Also, make sure to check the first link below to learn about a comprehensive natural product that addresses the health concerns these dangerous pills claim to treat while actually protecting and strengthening your heart at the same time, delivering results twice as fast as pharmaceutical approaches without any of the devastating side effects. Your heart health is too important to gamble with pharmaceutical roulette. You deserve natural solutions that work with your body instead of against it, that strengthen your cardiovascular system instead of weakening it, and that support your overall health and vitality for years to come. Take care of yourself, trust in your body's natural healing abilities, and remember that the best medicine is often the gentlest medicine that works in harmony with the incredible healing wisdom your body already possesses.